Gerard Gordeau gets knocked out of the night over
Absolutely.
Tuli.
Yeah, just a step back kick to the face, tooth flies out or whatever.
What a perfect way to set up, like, just the brutality of what this card is, you know?
Yeah.
Welcome to Casual Academy MMA, your deep dive into MMA history, fight by fight. Let's get it all!
Welcome back to another episode of Casual Academy. We started by watching UFC once.
I don't believe any of these accolades.
I kind of don't either.
I don't believe a single one besides Ken. Ken is legit.
And
Royce Gracie is legit.
I don't know. I thought Gerard Gordeau was...
He could be. We should pull up some old Gerard Gordeau fights.
We really want to get to know all these fighters, and these were our first ones. So UFC 1... November 12th, 1993. Kev, what was the first fight?
The first fight was Tuli, 6'2", 410-pound sumo champion versus Gerard Gordeau, 6'5", 216, heavyweight Savate champion. This fight couldn't have ended more hilariously.
Yeah.
It was Tuli going for the slowest, like, double leg grab just to get kicked in the face after missing.
Basically fell to his knees and like was struggling to get up.
Yeah. Just to eat a front kick to the face, or not a roundhouse kick to the face, and his tooth goes flying out and they call the fight.
Yeah.
It is so funny that the first ever UFC fight ends in an illegal strike.
And they didn't know, the refs and the judges, there's no judges,
right,
couldn't decide if it was over or not.
Yeah, they didn't call it. They kind of just let him see if he could recover, and then they kind of asked the corner, like, is he good to fight? And they were like, no. And then that's how they called it.
And they just let them leave the ring. They didn't announce it. They didn't announce a win. If they did, the microphones weren't on. Gerard Gordeau steps back to like wind up on this kick.
Yeah.
And blast him in the face. And one of the announcers is like, well, a little bit of hesitancy from so-and-so. It's like, no, this dude was just winding up to just rip this guy's face. And that was it. There was about 13 seconds of fighting, so not much to dissect. Fight number 2, what do we got?
Hey, I am Kevin Rose. I'm the 5-time world kickboxing champion.
My name is Zane Frazier, and the reason I think I'm going to win is that God's going to give me the strength and the courage and to do all the right things at the right time, and that's going to be my advantage.
He has an impressive record of 66-8. All 66 wins by KO.
It was the most barbaric clinch fight. Like,
first of all, he does this really awkward bounce where he like kind of like jumps up 3 or 4 times and then charges his man, and he's just throwing these haymakers,
completely gassed out. Zane Frazier gets a little momentum, who comes back and just starts like wailing on Kevin Rosier inside clinch. Kevin Rosier just absorbs this like the blob he is.
Yeah.
And then after Zane Frazier gasses out, they just, flip positions.
I was going to get into a little bit of wrestling that I don't think they know that much about. But
Zane Frazier points to the middle of the octagon for the fight to take place and then changes his mind and just basically goes and lays back on the fence. And then Rosier just beats him to smithereens and then stomps his head like 6 times.
Stomps his head, and they throw in the towel.
Yep. Yeah. All heart, all dick. What about
fight number 3? We got some technique now. We got Royce Gracie versus Art Jimmerson. Mm-hmm. Shout out St. Louis.
Technique that my family's been developed for the last 65 years.
Hi, I'm Art Jimmerson from St. Louis, Missouri.
Art Jimmerson came to this fight with a boxing glove on one of his hand and shoes on to fight Royce Gracie, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert. Royce gets him in top mount and the guy couldn't do anything. He just tapped without Royce putting him in any sort of submission or nothing.
He's just holding Royce behind the back, which is a good like stall tactic if there was a ref that was going to stop it.
Right.
Nothing happens. He just realizes I'm not going to get out of this and gets up, and that fight's over.
Fight number 4 was Ken Shamrock versus Patrick Smith.
Hi, my name is Ken Shamrock. I'm fighting in the Pancrase organization out of Japan. I go 1 week each month and fight over there.
Powerful elbows and headbutts and choking and grappling fighting and the resistance of feeling pain is what's going to make me come out to be the ultimate champion.
Patrick Smith was labeled as 250-0.
An astounding record of 250-0.
Jesus.
There's no way.
Yeah, because we happened to witness him be 250-1, Yeah.
From the moment Shamrock walked out, you just kind of like, oh shit, this guy's actually kind of a badass.
Yeah, he's mean mugging, and he's got like the towel, and like it's the first time where someone feels like a star. Obviously, he'd had experience in other organizations before. To start things off, Ken got double underhooks, bear hug, took the guy down.
Right.
Went immediately for that heel hook, and it was kind of game over.
Yeah.
There was some beef or some kind of shit talk back and forth afterwards, but and one of the announcers said, well, there's no glory in winning by a heel hook.
Nobody wants to lose to a footlock.
Patrick Smith had no idea what to do on the ground. I mean, Shamrock had the heel hook in, and he was just like trying to elbow Shamrock's other shin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our first pair of winners from the first round.
This is a tournament style.
Probably and each fight's like 2 minutes, so this is probably about 35 minutes later.
Right. Gerdeau's right hand is completely broken.
He looked good, man.
Gerard Gerdeau looked solid.
Gerard Gerdeau, I thought was in my opinion, was the closest thing to like a modern UFC fighter.
He looked like he had like technique to his strikes versus people who are just mauling. He almost hit Rosier with that signature kick to the face to a grounded opponent.
Yeah.
But Rosier saw it was coming and went back down. Threw probably his broken hand at Rosier's face till they
pummeled him into the ground, and they threw in the towel, and Rosier tapped. Fun fight. Both the Kevin Rosier fights were worth going back and watching.
And he was humble in defeat, and they invited him for UFC 2, so we'll see if he pulls up or not. I'm curious.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second semifinal match of the evening.
On paper, looking at these two, I would kind of think that like Shamrock would win.
And it's not like Royce was impressive versus Art Jimmerson. He got mount, and I agree. If I was like betting and it was 1993, I would have bet on Ken Shamrock. It gets to the ground.
Yeah.
Ken goes for his heel hook.
Right.
Royce just completely recognizes that and then hops over into mount, ends up taking Ken's back, getting into like a backside control, getting what looked like a rear naked choke in, but I'm not going to, I don't know what that choke was.
It was like a rear naked bulldog variation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm surprised Ken couldn't fight that off, to be honest. It wasn't like a super, intricate submission to defend,
And Royce had one of his legs kind of captured, and Royce was always like butterflying people's legs. Like,
he was every time he was on top. Yeah.
Nothing to me. This fight wasn't anything spectacular. It was just kind of like, Royce is obviously very skilled. It doesn't matter that someone's super strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the event of the evening you've been waiting for, the finals of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Gerard Gerdeau looked like a world beater, and Royce Gracie just dismantled him like nothing.
If it stayed on the feet, I think Royce would have gotten knocked out. He didn't know what to do with when Royce was getting underhooks, and Royce was trying to get behind his back. He didn't know what to do. He never put on any kind of overhook. There was really no even baseline minimum defense. Got to the ground, and it was basically a wrap.
Right.
Gerard is in a lot of trouble.
It was just really interesting to look at Royce Gracie after all his fights. Not a scratch on him.
No.
It didn't even look like he fought once, and he fought 3 times and won the tournament,
Was there anyone that fought tonight that you see being relevant in the future in terms of maybe putting them on our top 10 list to start things off and see where it goes?
I would put Royce there for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe Ken at 2. Nah, maybe Gerard Gerdeau. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is, I do want to put Gerard Gerdeau up there to be like, could this guy beat Gerard Gerdeau?
Yeah.
If he's not even in UFC 2 or 3 or not.
I agree with you. I agree that it was Royce Gracie, and instead of Ken Shamrock, I got to say, I thought it was Gerard Gordeau.
Well, he was number 2 anyway.
Okay.
So, knockout of the night for me, absolutely the first fight. Gerard Gerdeau gets knockout of the night over Tuli.
Yeah, just a step back kick to the face, tooth flies out or whatever.
What a perfect way to set up just the brutality of what this card is,
Yeah. So $50,000 to Gerard Gordeau. It's 1993, so just hold on to that and put it all on Apple when that comes out.
Yeah.
You'll be a trillionaire. Submission of the night. There was a couple. What did you have for submission of the night?
I think it would just be Royce getting the rear naked choke on Ken. Just because, I don't know. Ken Shamrock went for the heel hook on a guy who doesn't know what a heel hook is. And Royce Gracie got top mount. Well, it could be just the top mount submission. You know what? I'll give it that.
Just that.
Royce Gracie on top mount, not even having
against
a
our
submission
Jimmerson.
in. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give it to Gracie versus Gordeau or Gerard, just because I was pretty impressed with Gerard. And Royce had to work for it a little bit. Like, he got him up against the cage. Whereas the Ken thing, he kind of just took mount after Ken, like, uneducatedly went for his submission. So I got submission of the night as Gracie submitting Gordeau. Fight of the night.
Fight of the night undoubtedly goes to the fight that lasted longer than a minute, a minute and a half, which is Kevin Rosier versus Zane Frazier.
Yeah, that fight, there was some back and forth.
Yeah.
It was a slugfest like you've never seen before. The stomps on the ground. I agree with you 100%. So fight of the night, Rosier and Frazier. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but and we both talked about this, but the other candidate for fight of the night to me would have been Rosier versus Gordeau or Gerard, because Gerard, again, it was the first time that I felt like a fighter looked slightly modern.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. Guys, got anything else? Okay, thanks for listening, guys. This has been Casual Academy.